Hi and welcome to another video from Dale Farm, and in this video we are looking at calving, and here is the first of the Highland calves to arrive this year at the end of April. And this is the first calving from our new bull Archie, so we were very excited and delighted by seeing a very unusual and different colour for our cows to produce in their calves. And the first calf is a little bull calf. It's the 29th of April today, and what has been actually a very dry, cold and unusually sort of unseasonal month for us here in Derbyshire and in England. Most places have experienced far less rain than we would have expected, a lot more frosts, 2 to 3 times more frost than usual, and temperatures a few degrees cooler. What we have enjoyed is an awful lot of clear skies, more clear skies than usual, I would say, in my experience. None of the April showers. We haven't had very much wind. After the first initial week where we had all of the wintry weather, it became very settled, and it's actually very kind of fortunate because it was good conditions for lambing, really. Apart from the frost, it was good, but now we're desperately in need of rain, which is ridiculous considering how often it rains normally in Derbyshire. Normally we get about, I think on average, about 100 millimetres of rain per month, every month, all year. We might have the odd dry month, and I think this year, April, we're on 16 millimetres of rain, to give you some context. So it's been a lot of extra work getting water to the livestock. Makes a big difference to how much they drink when we don't have rain on the ground. And we desperately now need some rain at this time of year in order to get the grass growing, to give us the essential spring growth that we need for a good year ahead. This is baby 2, who was born on Easter Sunday, one that we had to lamb and I have been bottle feeding. Today is Friday the 30th of April, and sadly baby 2 has passed away. So I'm very sad about that, and I did lots of crying last night, but crying will not bring her back. So you win some, you lose some, and we didn't win that one. But I just have to keep telling myself that she wouldn't have lived for one day if it hadn't have been for the care that we gave her. So at least she had about 4 weeks. So baby 2 will not be forgotten. She was very loved. For her time here, she was very loved. Back to calving, and the second calf to be born is a much more traditional colour, out of Frances, who is the darkest Highland cow that we keep, and this one is a heifer calf. Frances is the head of the herd. She is the dominant female, very much the boss, and usually her calves are dark, and this is actually the first time that she's had a lighter coloured calf. We had a dry April and we really needed rain, and when May arrived, so did the rain, and rain and rain and rain it did, and it's actually been the wettest May on record. So the rain is great for filling up all the ponds, giving the ground some much needed watering, but it was not good for the livestock. And as you can see here, they're all sheltering under the wall sides because it really was miserable. Whereas we might have preferred to have warm rain, this was cold and there was also a lot of wind. It really was grim for the time of year. So why don't you give us a weather summary? What's it been like and what's it changed to?
Well, the weather this last 24 hours has been very, very wet, which we desperately needed, but it's also been very cold and stormy, which is not ideal. The lambs, thankfully, are a bit of age about them now and are all sheltered under the walls, which are very good for that. And so the first run round, they all seem okay.
The wind!
But this is very, very stormy and very, very unseasonal. But to say the rain was desperately, desperately needed. The ground was really dry, so hopefully now, if it warms up, we should see some growth. But, these bushes is really windy.
It's 60-mile-an-hour gusts and something like 56 millimetres of rain. I hope that this isn't it now. I hope it's not permanently going to be rainy and grey. Because it's been nice to have the nice weather. Nice to have the settled conditions. You know, sometimes once it turns, that's it. How are these guys doing? They alright? Yeah. So it is Wednesday morning and we've had 2 days of terrible, I'll say terrible because it was windy, but very much needed rain, heavy rain. I think 70 mil of rain over 2 to 3 days, and a sort of an average month is about 100 here. So a lot of rain to make up for the rain we didn't have. But also a lot of wind and very cold, and it feels like everything now is kind of replenished and renewed and hopefully going to settle down and allow that very much needed spring growth. So yeah, let's hope the sun stays out now and it warms up a little bit. And it's now the 5th of May and we are getting still frost. It's a little bit frosty on the ground, on the grass this morning, and the air temperature is still cold, only a couple of degrees. We're not reaching double figures in the daytime, so it's definitely been in the UK much sort of colder than I would say average year, and with it we had a lot of clear skies, which is always lovely. But yeah, just so cold, and it would be nice to feel like warmer temperatures are on their way, but this is England, so it's never guaranteed. Then the third Highland calf to be born, we thought was a sheep in the field because of the colour. It is so bright. It looks like a mini polar bear, and this is also a bull calf. Really fantastic colour, bit of a glow in the dark calf, really beautiful. And there is the other two that were born earlier. We're not sure if the calves will change colour as they mature, The firstborn calf seems to be changing colour all the time, which is quite interesting. But this really pale one, it will perhaps stay this blonde colour, which is similar colour to the bull, I suppose. And a brief gap in the weather, and then back to persistent rain. Horrible, wet, wet, wet. And that's going to be the end of the video. And thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've enjoyed seeing the calves. And I'll bring you an update with what has been happening at Dale Farm very soon. And look forward to reading your comments. Bye.